What's up guys, I'm BRAVExHERO, and if you read the video title, we're talking about Warlocks. More specifically, competitive Warlock subclasses. Any Warlock subclass can be competitive in any playlist, but some subclasses outshine the others. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 3 subclasses and what makes them unique. Keep in mind that the super alone isn't the only determining factor of my rankings, but it can play a role in how effective a subclass is. Also, if you're wondering, the Warlock Stasis subclass isn't the #1 top dog of the game. It's not, guys. I know, shocker, but we will be covering that later in the video. But like always, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy the content, then you might want to consider subscribing and clicking that bell to turn on all notifications so you can get notified when my videos go live. Lastly, if and only if you found this video helpful, then click that like button, which lets me know to bring more videos like this. But without further delay, let's get started with number 3. In number 3, we have the Shadebinder Warlock, the Stasis subclass for the Warlock. Now, I'm not going to break down each subclass perk and ability. I'll skim through them when I talk about it and how their abilities benefit you in game. But for starters, unlike other Stasis characters, Warlocks do not have the ability to shatter frozen targets. Not necessarily putting them at a disadvantage, but more of an annoyance to the Warlocks in general. But any frozen target destroyed, and with the aspect Ice Flare bolts, which when you destroy a frozen target, it spawns a seeker that will freeze any nearby target, which I personally feel makes up for the Warlock's inability to shatter. Ice Flare really gives the Warlock a top tier option in their arsenal to take on multiple enemies in a close proximity. But since we're on the topic of frozen targets, with the most recent update, frozen targets take less damage from kinetic weapons or your primary weapons, and they still take a good amount of damage from special weapons. Ultimately meaning if you are going to be rocking the Shadebinder build, you're going to want a very powerful special weapon, because when you freeze a target, you're going to want to defeat them quickly, because if you freeze a target and you're utilizing your kinetic weapon, it's going to require more shots to destroy them, which is one of the main reasons why Shadebinder came in at number 3. The nerf to the frozen target damage really hurts Warlocks a lot. Unlike Titans and Hunters who have a shatter ability, Warlocks don't, so it all relies on their special weapons or their kinetic weapons. In game modes like Trials, when you have to clean up a target that's frozen and you're dealing damage with a Hawk Moon, that frozen target now has the ability to escape and recover and re-engage, or if they break free quickly enough, they can just start engaging you right away. Aside from the drawback of the Ice Flare bolts, pairing that with the Aspect Frost Pulse, you have synergy. With the Aspect Frost Pulse, casting a Rift generates a shockwave that freezes nearby enemies, which if you cast your Rift and freeze an enemy, you now can kill them, which will create a seeker that will freeze any nearby target. Lots, and I mean lots, of synergy there. Now, moving into the super of this subclass, one of the main reasons why I ranked this into the 3rd spot was due to the lack of mobility from its super. You feel sluggish when you're moving around the map in the super, which is a huge detriment to you when you're moving around the map trying to engage enemies. They can easily shut you down with team shots. As powerful as all Stasis subclasses are, the Shadebinder falls behind the Revenant and the Behemoth subclass. Sure, you have awesome abilities like Frost Pulse when you activate your Rift, but the activation time can be the difference between you surviving and losing that engagement to a shotgun rusher. Lastly, one of the biggest drawbacks to the Shadebinder subclass is its freeze melee ability. It might be the strongest up close melee in the game, but really has a lot of drawbacks on how fast it travels. This melee speed allows Guardians the ability to quickly avoid the melee altogether. I personally feel like this subclass has a lot going for it in the competitive category. Several factors keep it from the top rank, but don't let that fool you. It's still a Stasis subclass and shouldn't be overlooked. Now, moving into number 2, we have the Attunement of Chaos, the Chaos Reach subclass, aka Kamehameha Super. For those wondering, I did a full breakdown and deep dive of this subclass in a prior video, but what landed this subclass at number 2 is its super ability and its synergy, not only within its subclass, but with other teammates on your team. Now, what really puts this super on the radar is its ability to cancel your super at any time during its activation, allowing you to save super energy, and if you defeat any enemies in the process, this will grant orbs to your teammates, which allows them to recharge their super much quicker. I do need to ask, how many times do you die in your super? Pretty frequently. Maybe you're popping your super and someone snipes you. Maybe another super counters your super and you die. If you die in your super with Chaos Reach, unlike other supers in which if you die, you lose your entire super, Chaos Reach will allow you to conserve some super energy, not fully depleting you of your total super energy. Which brings us to one of the biggest benefits of this super. Being able to cancel your Chaos Reach at any time allows you to have your next super much quicker. Not only that, if you die in your super, well, when you come back, you'll still have super energy and you'll be up to your next super much quicker than your opponents. Now I know, a subclass does not revolve around a super. But in a game like Destiny where you can slot armor mods to where your super cooldown is much faster, this is what makes Chaos Reach a competitive subclass. Now, don't think that just because a super is extremely powerful, that your neutral game isn't a factor. With perks like Pulse Wave, where being critically wounded triggers an energy wave that boosts yours and ally speed, that perk alone is extremely noticeable, and being able to share that with your teammates is a huge benefit. Guys, when you have that active, you feel like your character's on like energy drinks, like he just chugged a couple Red Bulls. But the other perks in the subclass are good, but they're not over the top. The melee ability is lackluster with a slow travel speed and a low damage output. This is a huge reason why this subclass didn't take the #1 spot. But moving into our #1 subclass, can I get a drum roll please? The subclass that took the #1 spot is a subclass that has an extremely high skill ceiling. Coming in at #1, we have the Attunement of Sky, the top tree Dawnblade. This subclass has it all. From a super that when Guardians see it, they're running from this super, to the abilities. If you learn how to master the abilities on this subclass, it can be the difference from clutching an entire round. But hear me out. One of the things that makes this subclass top tier, #1, is its movement ability, which gives this subclass an edge over all previous subclasses mentioned in today's video. When I said that this subclass has a high skill ceiling with the perk Icarus Dash, which not only allows you to move around the map with ease, but it's a great movement ability that can get you out of some sticky situations. Let me ask, how many of you guys hate Dustfield grenades? You feel like you get sucked into them, right? Only a few subclasses allow you to get out of there. The Behemoth Titan has to have a fully charged melee to be able to punch his way out of it. The top tree Dawnblade, you can just use an Icarus dash out of that with ease. You can avoid being frozen if you just dash out of that, which is huge, especially in a game that revolves around stasis being super powerful. But hey, that's not the only thing that Icarus Dash does. Try engaging multiple enemies, you can do it easily. You get 2 dodges, which you can use it to create space or close the distance or close the gap on your enemy. Even if you're engaging just one enemy, you can break their ankles easily just with the 2 dashes. You can dash forward, you can dash back, and at that moment, they're not gonna know what hit them. Something that the previous subclasses failed to have was a melee ability that was top tier. It was either too slow or lacked damage output. But with the melee ability, Celestial Fire, which has some of the most intense tracking, add a total damage of 99 to that, you have a melee ability that rivals the Hunter Stasis melee ability. That melee ability, the Celestial Fire, rivals the Shurikens. This isn't even factoring in the perk Heat Rises, in which when you consume your grenade energy, you extend your glide and improve in-air accuracy, which is a great perk for those of you tired of fighting on the ground and wanting to get a jump on your enemies. Ultimately, it really doesn't matter which subclass you choose from this list. They're all very powerful. They're all top tier. They're all competitive. When it comes time for you to get 5,500 survival glory points or trying to go flawless in Trials of Osiris, why handicap yourself? Why run a subclass that isn't powerful? But like always, if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe for more content if you're new. And like always, guys, follow me on all social media platforms. Links are going to be down below. I post a lot of awesome footage on there, so check that out. And with that, you guys are awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. The Iron Banner one. Timeward Spire. And I had said that in a video, man, saying that Timeward Spire needs to come back. Please? Oh, if you blow up, I'm gonna fucking love it. Oh my gosh, I stuck him with it. This gun's better. Sit up. Oh my gosh. Play down. Play down. I got a rift on you. I got him.
Only one enemy is left.
You're sick.
You have flattened your enemy.